my middle school locker, I had a big ass picture of Stanley Tookie Williams in my locker. Like,
Okay.
swing the door open, that's what you saw. That's what I wanted to be, bro. Like, I wanted to be a part of this. Like, I was in awe of them dudes. So I'm with whatever y'all with. If I'm gonna be a part of this street culture, I'm gonna be involved in every activity that goes on within this space. And that's what I did. As far as me, I'm from St. Louis. I'm from the north side of the city. To be more exact, from a neighborhood called Walnut Park. And within that neighborhood... Walnut Park.
Okay.
And within that neighborhood is hoods. It's like sub-hoods within the hood. So you got the hood, but then it's broken up into, like I said, sub-hoods. So you got, like I say, St. Louis, north side, Walnut Park, but then I'm from 5-4 within Walnut Park.
Damn.
So, I mean, it's kind of... and I mean, that's me, man. I lived on every part of... I always like to say I am St. Louis because I've lived on every part of St. Louis. You know what I mean? And the parts that I didn't live, a lot of my homeboys are from there. Or I used to get in trouble over there. But I also went to school in the suburbs. So I got to touch every part of St. Louis. You know what I mean? It's not a part that I'm not familiar with. And I mean, that's just me. You know what I mean? I was that kid. You know what I mean? Because growing up, the older dudes in the neighborhood, that particular neighborhood, if you was to speak to somebody from St. Louis, they'll go, man, that nigga from over there is just one of those neighborhoods. No different than KC is certain hoods that you say, and people in Kansas City know, oh, you from over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just come up that way, and the older dudes would always tell us, don't fuck it up here. You gonna get in trouble, go outside the neighborhood and fuck it up. And so we kind of took that mentality and kind of ran with it a little bit because we would be on different sides of the city getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Because, them older dudes like, no, don't break in cars over here. Unfortunately, I'm not glorified. It's just how we was taught. Don't break in houses over here. You know what I mean? This is your community. These the people that's going to not tell if the police come looking for you. Go outside the neighborhood and do that. And then when you move like that, it makes you popular for the wrong reasons and for the right reasons. You know what I mean? Because you in different parts of the city, talking to different females that ain't from where you from. They taking to you because they don't want to talk to the dudes who come where they come from. They want to talk to the new dude. Who are you? But then the dudes over there ain't too fond of it. So then you find yourself in a situation where you got into it with them. You know what I mean? So That's me in a whole, St. Louis.
Okay. What's your household like, though? Would you, brothers, sisters, mother, father, grandparents, like how would you raise? The environment. Speak on the environment within your household.
Yeah. So I always say, man, I'd be remiss not to mention, bro, I was one of the lucky ones. I just spoke to y'all about the neighborhood I come from, and it's a very volatile environment. Mm-hmm. But within that volatile environment, my household, I had all the structure you needed. I had my father in the household, my mother in the household, but it was a lot of us because it was my grandma's house. So not only was I'm the baby of 5. So it was all us 7, my mom and daddy, my 4 siblings, my uncle and my grandma. So that was our house. But my grandma's house was the hub in the hood. Like,
okay.
You remember them old school days, how them old folks used to party and kick and stay up late drinking, like then go to work in the morning?
Society type stuff. Yeah.
So that was a perfect example.
Okay.
That was my upbringing. So it was a party at my grandma's house every single night. And then next door was a man named Sylvester. He was an old school player. You go in his basement, he had the red LED lights lined up along the wall. Mm-hmm. He had the bar in the basement. So every night it was either at my house or next door.
Yeah.
And it's the hub of the hood. So all the gangsters is coming through, the pimps, the ladies of the night, if you will. Everybody coming through my grandma's house. So my upbringing was structured, but I was exposed to a lot early. Because like I said before, I'm the baby of everybody. Excuse me. All my big cousins, everybody in the neighborhood, my grandma friends, I'm Lil John. So I'm getting game every time I turn around because everybody want me next to them. That's Lil John, you know what I mean? I'm funny and charismatic. So that was my upbringing, where outside was very volatile, but inside the house, very structured.
Was you ever seen, I might get the name wrong. He got Eddie Murphy Raw and Eddie Murphy
Delirious.
Which one was he, the little kid, and they had him in the house and they had him telling the jokes, and I think Samuel L. Jackson.
That was Raw, wasn't it?
That was Raw. Okay. Was it something like that for you, like where all the
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm talking about in a whole, like, yes. Like, I was the one who was going to entertain everybody. Like I was telling you earlier, excuse me, it would be grown men on the porch drinking, they smoking, having a good time. And out of nowhere, you would hear, hey man, go get John John. Now, remember this time back in the day, it was a time where adults made us leave. Like, all right, the grown folks talk, go in the room, or go in the house. Not me. I got to be the one little kid on the porch. So the rest of the kids in the hood, like, man, why the fuck he get to just sit out there and drink it? Well, excuse me, not drink, y'all, but while they drinking and while they smoking and talking shit, they gambling, it's pistols, it's drugs. But I get to be the little kid on the porch because everybody want to hear me do Ezel from Friday. Everybody want to hear me do Chris Tucker from Rush Hour. Like, that's just who I was. You know what I mean? I'm talking about a little young, big head nigga, bro. But I had the whole hood in a chokehold because I could entertain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In that house, though, and seeing all of that, where did your curious mind go? Because you see guns, you see drugs, you see prostitutes, probably. Who knows? Like,
yes, sir.
So where would you see alcohol? Like, what did your curious mind lead you to?
It kind of made me very intrigued about the hood. You know what I mean? Because I'm seeing the good side of the hood, if you will. If this makes sense. Like, I'm seeing the dude pull up in the Cadillac, with the gold rims, fly as hell, all the women chasing him. I'm seeing the glorified part of the streets. So it made me very intrigued because I'm like, oh, these dudes cool as hell. Like, these my heroes. They sitting on the block getting money. Everybody respect them or fear them one way or another. They, like I said, they get money. The girls want them. The older people in the community love them too. They speaking to them. They ain't speaking to Mr. Johnny who just got off work, in his overalls. They speaking to the young hustler up the street. Because, at that time, though, the hustlers still helping old women carry their bags in the house. Still helping, a little money here and there. If you need, they can go to them. That old woman struggling with her bills could go to the younger dudes on the corner. Like, I need a little $200. So no problem, mama. I'm infatuated. Like, oh, okay, now this how it's supposed to be. And at the time, they finally did the story on it when the BMF series come out. But that's my childhood when BMF was in the city. So I'm seeing nothing but money, as I come up. So that's what it did for me. It just made me super intrigued about the ghetto. And I wanted to be a part of it. You know what I mean? I truly wanted to be what I saw. You know what I mean?
When did you stop being you probably was always the comic relief. But when did the comic relief started? Oh, well, before we go there, when things weren't so funny to you all the time and you were being when you were younger, because when we young, like you said, you stay in the child's place, but there are things that affect us when we're young. And you probably didn't realize it then, but now looking back, you probably see some of those things. Like, so what did times look like when it wasn't always I'm being the jokester? And
great question, bro. The flip side to that is because I was the youngest, and I'm talking about the people in my household, I was picked on the most, right? So I was the butt of everybody's jokes as well. And I'll be honest to you, bro, as a man, it made me really violent as a young man because I'm in the crib and everybody cracking jokes on me, making me cry and shit. So when I come outside, it's hell to pay. Like, ain't no jokes, ain't no none of that. I'm whooping ass when I come outside.
I can't whoop these niggas.
Yeah, I'm whooping y'all ass though. So that was the flip side to it though. Even though I was the jokester, I was the butt of everybody's jokes at times too. Because I'm the easiest to pick on at the time. You know what I mean? A little short motherfucker, big head. I ain't like wearing shoes when I was real little, so I would run around outside, no shoes on. Get your ass back out, you little dirty feet ass little boy. But I was just a kid. I ain't know no better, But that was the flip side. So I enjoyed it, but it was times where I couldn't stand it because it's like,
what hurt you?
With me?
What hurt you?
Just watching everybody laugh at me, bro. Like it was a weird thing to. It was a weird thing to accept. You know what I mean? Because everybody laughing at your expense, and you a kid, so. You don't get to be in on the fun, but the whole house is cracking jokes. You know how our people is. We don't let up. Uncle come on the porch. He just got there. The joke been over 20 minutes ago. Now they finna tell Uncle about it too. So now I got to
peeing on yourself and all that.
All that. I did that, y'all. All that. Like, so it was just, it affected me that way to where it made me a very sensitive young man. But the sensitivity made me very violent, if that makes sense. So that's my household.
Yeah. What do good times look like? Oof. Besides you just having to be the comic relief, what do good times with? Because you got siblings. Which, like
the good times was my grandma's house was the hub yet again. So like I got that old school hood upbringing where everybody would just pull up, hop out, speak to my uncle, speak to my grandma. It was just we barbecuing. You know, the kids we out front, we playing, the girls playing double dutch. The little dudes, we slap boxing or going chest down or racing up the street playing tag. Those was the good times in the hood. You know what I mean? Like, and I gotta say that because a lot of us are making it sound like the hood is all bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
But man, it was some amazing times growing up in the ghetto, bro. Like, whole block know each other. Everybody sit on their porch, waving, drinking. Everybody honking their horn when they slide by. The dudes up the street, they busting their little plays or whatever. They giving us money when the ice cream truck rolled through. Come on, man. It was just the good old days, bro. And, you know, I miss them days because it's like you don't see that in the ghetto no more. We can't really pull up and just be no more, you know. Anybody outside.
And it made you want to become that same thing. You see them giving out ice cream. I want to give out ice cream to the kids one day, too.
Come on, man.
I get that because I was like that, too.
And it was nothing like it, man. Seeing them older dudes, and this the time they rocking they big ass, you know, tall tees and, you know, 4X t-shirts. And, you know, the Air Force Ones that just sweep through the city became a big deal. So I wanted to be like that because I didn't get to see, I wasn't privy to see the bad things that they were doing.
Yeah.
Right? Early on, as a youngster. You would hear about it, but I wasn't seeing it. I wasn't seeing them when I didn't understand the concept of them giving the community drugs that's killing the community. I didn't understand that. I didn't see it that way. And neither did they, I would assume.
Yeah. So you let's take in consideration and by the way, it's like the Joseph effect. I don't know if you know who Joseph is in the Bible.
Yes, I'm familiar.
You the kid that get to do everything, and your brothers and them is kind of pissed and jealous. The whole neighborhood is kind of jealous.
Yeah.
But you also probably the one that's gonna be. But we could get back to that.
Yeah.
So when we talk about like, I would assume you suffer from embarrassment issues.
Yes.
I would assume the comedy covered up a lot of that. It helped you embrace that. But also the things you're seeing in the neighborhood. And then you go into a school that has rules and stuff. How were you in school?
So in school, okay, so and then let me make sure I get this for context.
Go ahead.
Being from the hood, I never went to an inner city school a day of my life. My siblings did.
Okay, Joe.
Not me. That's why what you said is on point, bro. I never went to inner city school. My mom was just like, not just me, my siblings went too, but I'm the baby, so my mama kind of had to figure it out at that point. Like, all right, all y'all going. So it created that, man, it was just a different disposition I had, bro, because I'm leaving one of the most volatile areas in the city, in the country, if you will. Then I'm going to the suburbs to go to school. So it's a whole mind just fuck every day because I got to put these rules down to even coexist out here with these white kids. But then I can't bring that suburban shit back home because as soon as I get off the bus, oh, that nigga John go to the white school. Okay, now let me whoop your ass because now you talking about go to the white school. Nigga, don't get it fucked up. Like, I'm just going for education, man. Don't get mad at me because my mama want me to succeed. What the hell? Yeah. So in school, I had to battle with that because I would be on some young, you know, Walnut Park shit, but I'm all the way out in Maryland Heights going to school with kids that wore Polo, Sperry's, Abercrombie and Fitch. You know, that's who I'm going to school with. So elementary school was very tough because I'm so used to handling situations how I see it be handled in my community. But you can't do that, even in the real world. So in the communities we come from, violence is the problem solved.
Yeah.
And the more violent you are, the more you get your way, if you will. But it's not like that in the real world or in the suburbs. You bring that shit out to the suburb, young man, why did you punch him? Well, he said this and that about me. You can't do that, young man. But where I come from, yes, you can. Like, they even champion, like, look, bro, whooped his ass. You know what I mean? There you go.
Yeah.
So in school, it was me having that daily battle, bro, of who am I? What am I? You know, and how am I going to be? So, and I struggled with that all the way up into high school.
Yeah. The clowning is different too, right?
Yes.
And it, like, So in the inner city schools, it's probably like, because we all poor. So it's only so much you can say about me. So it's like, it's kind of like jokes that don't even exist. Your mama's so fat, da 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 da.
Yeah.
My mama ain't even fat though.
You know
So
what
it
I'm
ain't
saying?
even, it's those jokes. But when you go out to those type of schools, it probably hit different. Oh, what do you have on?
Man.
What do you know what I'm saying? You probably can't afford. I don't know what your situation was, but I don't know if you could afford the polos and stuff they was wearing. So how was that? Those, like, can you remember some of the things they would say about you? Like,
and you want to know what the crazy part, bro? It was more so the black kids who mom and daddies had money.
Because they trying to impress the white kids.
The white kids, they kind of, and like, this no disrespect to, you know, my white counterparts, but I went to school with them, K through 12.
Yeah.
They was more so infatuated with how we was.
Yeah.
The hood and, you know, gang banging and, you know, the culture. They infatuated with that. It was really the black kids who mom and daddy had money who would try that. What you got on? And, you know, if I ain't had no response, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Like, that's kind of how I was. Like, go across your motherfucking chin, because you ain't finna embarrass me, bro. Like, you not finna, especially as a young man, I just couldn't stomach letting somebody disrespect me and get over on me like that, bro. And just, it would eat me up to the point where, man, I may not do nothing that day, but man, I let that shit marinate for a few days, bro, and I'm gonna come in the next day, bro, and it's on. And you may even be like, damn, John, why you tripping? Nah, bro, remember that shit you said last week about my shoes and my clothes, and, you know, it's payback time, because I ain't gonna never be able to get the clothes you got, bro, at the time. So
you had that Bel Air thing going on.
Yes.
Like when Will first moved out to Bel Air, and, you know, they get, you know, the another thing is those black people, those black kids are probably struggling with identity themselves too. Like, they're trying to be cool to these, to the white people, like prove themselves to them, but they shitting on you and don't realize that they doing it.
And like I said, man, if I wasn't so sensitive then, I probably could have just let it ride, bro. But I was dealing with that shit enough at home, dog. Like I said before, the household and the community, you know, would, you know, do this, that, and the third. So, you know, I had to do what I had to do, you know what I mean, that time. So, you know.
And when how are you coming back home with that kind of stuff though? Like, when you first, can you remember first going out there and experiencing that and then going home? Like, what's your conversation with your mama and them like?
Man, it make you, what's up, big dog? At one point, bro, it kind of develops a level of resentment for your own folks. Because on the bus ride, it's a 30-minute bus ride every day. I'm watching yards and the terrain change every day.
Yeah.
I'm watching broken down cars in the driveway. You know, I'm gonna stand on the corner, do what they gotta do. And in 20 minutes, I'm finna see bikes in the yard, garage doors opening, fresh lawns, you know, motherfuckers dropping their kids off in the carpool line, and they hopping out with nice school supplies and shit like that. So you go back home to the hood and you resent your folks, like, damn, why the fuck? Because you're a kid, you don't know. But you're like, damn, why the fuck I ain't got the 72 box of crayons? I'm in here with this little 8-pack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These bullshit ass pencils. Buddy over here got the mechanical pencils. Mechanical pencils just dropped.
Trapper keepers.
Man, they got the shit. I'm like, what the mama? But then, you know, mama and them ain't trying to hear that shit. They like, hey man, you better, you know how it is. You can't go to your mama then at the time and tell them what you don't got, because they'll let your ass know, boy, you got a shelter, you got clothes, you got food. Go on, take your ass, you know, and cut the grass or something.
Yeah.
But that's what it did for me, man. Sometimes, bro, it developed a level of resentment. Because it's like, why I can't have that? You know what I mean? Why these kids get to flex their new lunch boxes and roll, you know, suitcase book bags and shit. I got the shit we got from the giveaway, you know, the one pack, book pack.
And shit like that.
Yeah, we getting that. And I appreciate it now, but at the time, bro, it was very tough.
It was tough.
It was tough.
Like, because when you a kid, you don't really know you set your own cool a lot of the time.
Yes.
So you going off of what the crowd is going for, you know what I'm saying? So I do understand that. So when did can you remember when things started to turn around with these outside schools?
Yeah, man, sports.
Sports.
Because that's one thing I can say. If you a young black man and you good at sports, they accept you at the suburban schools. I don't give a fuck how prestigious the school is. They'll take you with goals in your mouth all day if you play some motherfucking sports. So sports was, because growing up, we couldn't play organized sports. Mom and dad ain't had the money. My mom and dad got 5 kids, and they had us young, you know. So me and my brother couldn't play organized sports, so we just played in the hood. So when organized sports started, the first organized team I played for, I was the only black kid on the team. Chesterfield Tar Heels. Only black kid on the team. All them kids from the suburbs, mom and daddy got money, but I could play, you know what I mean? And they realized I could play. They like, and then they would, and I ain't gonna say they did it just because of that, but man, they helped my mama out a lot, bro. So that, and not to sidetrack, but like how I think is different, because I personally couldn't grow up and say, fuck all white people and that type of shit, because there's so many white people in my life that aided in getting me to this point. Picking me up when my mama couldn't, taking me back home when my mama couldn't, feed me after school because my mom was at work. You know what I mean? So I ain't got that type of story. So it all clicked for me in middle school with the sports. But as we all know, middle school is when you jump off the porch.
Yeah.
So life got real in middle school for me.
And we're going to get to that.
Gotcha.
Your conversations with these kids and stuff, how did that start to look? Like when you start, do you ever have a conversation with the black kid that's not black enough and not white? Do you ever like explain to them like, nigga, you don't understand this type. What does that look like?
For me, it's like, at first I didn't know how to have that conversation.
Okay.
Because I immediately just looked at him like, oh, nigga, you a sellout. Nigga, you out here trying to play good old two shoe for these white folks. Bro. I ain't want nothing to do with them. But as you get older, you realize, damn, man, you going through it just like me with this identity crisis. Because you want to be them. I don't want to be them. But I do want to fit in, you know what I mean? I do want to be somebody, you know what I mean? I don't want to come to school and I'm the kid that everybody's avoiding, which that, at one point in my life, that was a thing. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to be that dude. So conversation-wise, it was more so like me letting them know, hey, bro, you know, you could be you. But here's the flip side. If that's all you know, you're a young black man from the suburbs, all you know is suburbs. You didn't grow up in the hood. You're not going to be like me. So it took me to become an adult to realize, bro, black folks, we're not a monolith. You know what I mean? We come in all different upbringings, shapes, size, religion. You know what I mean? It ain't just the hood. You know, even though that's what they try to pump to us, that all us just ignorant from the hood. You know, going to school in them suburbs, you realize, no, it's some black folks that's doctors, lawyers, salesmen, doing well in life. So, you know.
Yeah. Those, did you start to see a turnaround in how they treated you, though? The black kids that were out there?
As far as with what?
With how they would approach you, how they would, you know, not just because they were scared of you. But they understood, they started to understand your background and where you come from. Yeah,
because I mean, I will say this, man, no matter where I come from, I've always been likable. You know what I mean? I pride myself on that. Like, I always like to feel like if I didn't sit down with you and tell my story, I don't even want you to know that I'm from the hood like that. Or I come from the environment that I come from. Because, like I said, and I'll reiterate, I mean, I come from a very, very volatile environment. Very volatile environment. So, and I don't want to lead with that. And I never have. You know what I mean? But it is in my nature, though.
Yeah.
Especially early on, because, you know, I'm really impressed by the older dudes in the hood. So the conversation with those black dudes was easier because I ain't want to make them feel lesser than either. You know what I mean? Because I know what that feel like. Right. So that was the type of my conversations I would have. I would ingratiate myself with them. Like, hey, bro, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Let your nigga out a little bit, bro. Let it out a little bit.
If you got some.
If you got some, let it out.
If you got some. What, do you remember your first fight in school?
Oof. Man, I done had so many, but yes, my first fight in school was over some crayons.
That was my first fight. Go ahead.
I asked the dude, I asked him, I say, I had the little 8-pack, he had the 72 box. And I'm like, hey man, let me get some of your crayons. That motherfucker told me no. He was at kindergarten. I went across his motherfucking chin like I was taught to do.
This nigga's a bully, man.
You know what I mean? But I mean, you know what I'm saying?
That was his crayons.
It was, man. It was, man. But like, you know, I'm like, damn, motherfucker, you got 72 of them? God damn. Like I can't fuck with none of them. You ain't gonna use the periwinkle, my nigga. Like, come on, bro.
Periwinkle is crazy.
Let me get the baby blue one. You ain't even finna use those, G. And that was the first fist fight I got in school. Yep.
Okay, what about when it's a little more serious matters than just crayon? Like, what's that over?
I'll say this. And I'm like that to this day, bro. Respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, me and another man can't coexist if there's no respect there.
Yeah.
Like, I won't even be around you, bro, because you gonna take me there. I don't tolerate disrespect on no level because I don't disrespect people. I give it first because I need it in return. You're not gonna disrespect me, which is why even with podcasts, bro, I don't troll. I don't poke the bear. I don't do that, bro, because don't do that shit to me. I don't bother nobody. So it always came off, more serious fights came because of motherfuckers trying to joke with me. Okay, you want to be the funny dude? I'm gonna be funny too. Yeah, you got everybody laughing with you now. But when I do what I do, now they laughing at your ass. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that was just my get back. You know what I'm saying? So that's when the fights in school became a little more serious. Now, I will share this though. I knew I was different because I think I was in first grade. Some older dudes jumped on my big brother on the bus. And long story short, a number 2 pencil ended up in the situation. And I got suspended from school, sent to the superintendent board. And, at that moment, I'm sitting there while they chastise me, but I'm sitting there like, bruh, I'm like that. As a young man, though, I'm like, bro, I can get to that level. And it kind of set me apart mentally from the rest of the other kids because at that moment, I knew I could be violent like grown men are at that young of age. So those were the serious things I started getting into. And, bro, that was first grade when that situation happened.
So you basically stabbed him with a number 2 pistol.
Absolutely.
Basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did they expel you?
So, no, they didn't expel me, but I got that big ass 180-day suspension. I got that twice in my lifetime. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I got 180-day suspension, went to the superintendent board. I was so young that they we ain't gonna send his ass to juvie. He in first grade. Right. We don't want to kick him out of school, so they just sent me to alternative school for a minute, then I came back.
Did it help?
No.
Okay.
No.
And this particular elementary, that's suburbs, right? That's still suburbs?
Yep.
Okay, and you said your brother went with you.
Yep.
Was it only one brother that went to the suburbs?
Yep, so I got 3 big sisters and 1 big brother.
Okay.
We the 2 youngest.
Okay, so how's it like bringing all this stuff that you got going on in the rich suburb areas? Because you said it's an adjustment you got to make that, and then bringing it back and trying to readjust with the hood. Mm-hmm. They don't even understand your type of as much as these dudes the suburbs don't understand your traumas. Yeah. These niggas don't understand your problems and shit with these suburbs people. So how you moving through that?
I mean, it make you feel alone sometimes, bro. Like, it make you feel like don't nobody understands you because it's like you just trying to be, bro. You just trying to, you know what I'm saying, do you. And, you trying to coexist in 2 worlds that don't mesh at all.
Yeah.
And you trying to find a happy medium, man, and it's tough, bro, because like you said, the motherfuckers in the hood, oh, John, man, that nigga go to the white school. Okay, motherfucker, but don't act like I ain't cut just like y'all. Out in the suburbs, oh, John's from the ghetto, he's nothing. And it's like, well, motherfucker, I'm just as smart and intelligent and charismatic as y'all, if not more. Because I'm overcoming some shit back home that you ain't overcoming. My partners in the hood, y'all got it easy, bro. Y'all get to go to school, everybody talking like y'all, walking like y'all. You know what I mean? You ain't got it like me. I'm trying to find my happy medium. So it was tough, man, all the time. And I didn't realize until I got older how tough it was.
And you got to work 10 times harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, to try to, So now I want to talk about the environment more that you came in, and you said it was four pieces of Walnut Park.
No, so you got St. Louis, Northside, Walnut Park, and then within it is broken up into Subhoods. So
and
Walnut Park
is
I'm from 5-4.
5-4. And that's the street. 54.
That's the couple streets.
Okay. So what is, because you said it's very, I hear about St. Louis all the time. As a matter of fact, y'all was top 3 in murder rate for a long, very, 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 very long time. And even now, because I listen to battle rap a lot too. Yeah. Averb is my favorite.
Hey man, he one of them ones,
That's
bro.
My favorite battle rapper. But they talk about the violence there all the time. What does that look like?
Man, it was like I'll put it to you this way. Man, I just didn't want to be a victim, bro. Because I won't portray like I was just some menace, but my position always was I ain't gonna be a victim. You ain't gonna do to me what you doing to him. You ain't gonna, take advantage of me. You ain't gonna punk me. You ain't gonna do none of that to me. You go try that shit with him. So the violence level, it makes you step on in it because it's like if you old dude in the hood, you say, "Little bro, if you ain't doing it, it's gonna get done to you." And whether that's right or wrong, I kind of took that in stride. Like, all right, cool. So no matter, because of how violent my neighborhood was, I had to step on in it because I wasn't gonna be the punk. Because y'all know how it go, man. When you presume weak in the ghetto, bro, people pick with you. It ain't gonna stop right there, bro. Like the little nothing dude who trying to earn stripes gonna try you because he want to seem cool to them. You ain't did nothing to him, so you can't perceive yourself as being weak, even if you're not a troublemaker. You must show that I'm going to defend myself. No matter what level this go to, I'm going to get down just how you getting down. You know what I mean? That was how it was. So I was already violent, but, as you get older, become a young man, you start to get off the porch. All your friends is in it. It becomes your day-to-day activities. So it was kind of like, it wasn't nothing to me just to be like, all right, come on, what we doing? And I was, once again, I always been the youngest. So even when I jumped off the porch, I'm hanging out with men who are grown.
Yeah.
My closest homeboys who brought me to who I would say I jumped off the porch behind was all 3-4 years older than me. And then you got they big brothers and they big homies. So at 13, bro, I'm hanging around men that's 20, 25 years old.
So you jumped off the porch at 13?
13, 7th grade.
What is jumping off the porch?
To me, my definition is I'm with whatever y'all with. If I'm going to be a part of this street culture, I'm going to be involved in every activity that goes on within this space.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. You know what I mean? Like, and it started out early, simple as that. You know how it go, man. Somebody simple as this. Hey, man, take this ounce and go up the street. Just take this to such and such up the street. Oh, cool. You know what I mean? And then after a while, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
But then, where drugs are, there are pistols. So then it may be a time where an individual say, hey, man, look, hold this. Or here, keep this while I do this. And, man, like I said, man, I was infatuated, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. And I rarely hear people say it that way, man. I was a fan of it. Like, I wanted to be that. Like, I'll tell you a funny story. My middle school locker, I had a big-ass picture of Stanley Tookie Williams in my locker. Like,
okay.
You swing the door open, that's what you saw. That's what I wanted to be, bro. Like, I wanted to be a part of this. Like, I was in awe of them dudes. So, jumping off the porch to me is accepting everything that comes with being in the streets. And that was me.
Is your hood a Crip hood?
So, funny you asked me that. My hood is dominated by Bloods.
Mm-hmm.
But there are Crip sets within my hood. So, you gotta be violent because it's like, man, them Blood niggas applying pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And, you got to be that. You know what I mean? Because they going to ask you, man, where you from and who, you know what I mean? And at this time, this is the tail end of gangbanging colors-wise.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last time you seeing people with flags hanging out their back pocket and, being flamed up or whatever. But I will say this, though. St. Louis, and correct me, KC kind of like that too, but correct me if I'm wrong. St. Louis, the gang shit, like the Crip and Blood shit is kind of just like an umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Our hoods are the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see Crips and Bloods kicking it together because it ain't really that deep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now, it was in the 90s, early 2000s, my uncle and them, the motherfuckers was in that shit heavy. It was just a umbrella for us. You know what I mean? So,
I think it's around the same line because earlier in Kansas City culture, it was, no blue, no red.
Yeah.
No blue over here where the red is and no red over here for the most part.
Yeah.
And I think later in the years it became more, it's a whole bunch of shit. I don't even understand.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on at this point. Nicknames, numbers combined and all of that. So it is, I would say for the most part. So y'all thing wasn't you had to get jumped in or...
Well, you want to know what, man? Nah, bro. I can't even lie, bro, and say, because for me, and I can't say how other people's introduction to it was. Once again, me being the baby of the hood, if you will, or baby of all the guys who was already in it, I ain't really had to go through that.
Yeah.
Right or wrong. Like, because you have people say, well, then you wasn't really that. Okay, well, let that be your truth. You know what I mean? My truth is, I knew all the important figures.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have to go through. They wasn't gonna let me go through that. Like, bro, I'm not finna sock him up. No, bro, he's straight. I know where he cut from. So no, I ain't have to do none of that. I can't speak for everybody else.
When you was first being the drop off kid, were you going naked? Meaning without a weapon. Without a weapon.
Wait a minute, ask me that again.
When you remember when you said you was dropping out the packages and stuff?
Yeah, no weapon.
No weapon.
Yeah.
Were you ever tried in those moments, in those times? Like, especially being a 13-year-old.
I would say no, but let me think. Hold on, because I don't want to. No, because the guys, my OGs my OGs was really that. So it was kind of like one of them moments where they didn't want no problems with him or them. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, even if they wanted to, nah, we just gonna let that ride because it's like, man, we don't want no problems with them. So nah.
Yeah. What do trying times look like in the streets for you? Like when shit start getting real, because shit ain't sweet in the streets.
Yeah, I got you.
Shit ain't, when shit started like, all right, at first we just dropping this stuff off or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, things going pretty well. Get a little couple extra dollars in my pocket, get what I want or whatever.
Can I say something?
You say whatever.
And I hate to cut your wisdom. I was so young and impressionable and, in all, I didn't even want to do it for no money. That's a fact.
Wow.
That's a fact. And it's somebody come, boy, you dumb as hell. You damn right. I didn't want no money. So when I used to drop them songs on back and forth, man, I'd do that shit for free. You need me to hold a pistol, stand in the doorway while I'd do that shit for free.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need nothing from you. You know what I mean? And I wasn't in it for the money.
Was it the thrill,
yes,
or was it the look too? Oh, the thrill and the look too.
Both.
So how you look posing with your pistol? What you did? Because I did this dumb shit. Like when you first get your first pistol, you posing in the mirror. How you gonna do like 50 Cent was doing? I said so. I'm like, were you on that posing? And,
yes. Because you want to know what, man? I'm gonna say this, man. Pistols is it changes the game for a young man. Because at first, you just a fisticuffs be fighting. But man, when you get that goddamn that cooker in your hand and you realize, man, I don't give a fuck how young I am, your grown ass better not come over here. That's why I kind of understand the little YNs now, because I remember having that same thought. Like, I got this little 38. I don't give a fuck what grown man got to say. You better not walk your ass over here and try me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got ain't none of you motherfuckers bulletproof. So it changed the game when the pistols came out. And that was when I was in about 7th grade.
Okay. At any point, did you care about the money?
Once, not as far as hustling, no. I never gave a fuck about it because I knew hustling wasn't my thing, bro. Like I wasn't the dude that was finna stand on the block all day to make this amount. And then you got to go give it back to him. Then you got to try to make that back again. That way, it was too slow. So, like, I gave a fuck about the money, once other things came about. You know what I mean? It's you have the hustler, and then you got the vulture. You got the one that prey on the hustler.
Got you.
And when OG was like, hey, man, a drug dealer can't call the police. I'm like, what the hell I'm finna go jump over that counter at CVS for? That nigga can't call the police. What he gonna tell him if he call him? So.
But why did you start caring about the money at that point then? Like, where are you at in life to where, okay, I'm cool with just doing the drop-off stuff just for the thrill. Now, I need some paper. Now.
Because, you get older and you want things. You know what I mean? You want the night. Once again, remember, I'm going to school in the suburbs. I'm seeing kids driving to school. They hopping out fresh-ass Earl Pasta, Abercrombie Fish, True Religion, all that. I want some of that shit, too. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be a part of it, too. I want to look nice. The girls is feeling it, you know what I mean? I want to look good. I'm tired of wearing all these motherfucking knockoff J's and shit like that. So, that's where that's when I started to give a fuck about money.
And you would say you pretty known around St. Louis or so, and I'm talking about at that time.
I would say amongst the youngsters, yes, because I've always been into sports and getting in trouble around the city. So yeah.
Okay, so when this is presented to you to be a jack boy, basically.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
To be a jack boy, basically. How are you going into that? Especially with you being a known figure.
Because now I will say this though. Being known, the people who knew me, you wasn't gonna know me for being a jack boy. I was always fighting everywhere I went.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just that kid, but I love to fight. You know what I mean? That was just me. To this day, I still box to this day. I love to fight. So it wasn't only, because I'm dealing with grown men once again.
Yeah.
So the kids my age would be stunned at that time to realize I was doing certain things. They'd be like, what the fuck? know this nigga from hooping and fighting. I didn't know this nigga was. It was only the motherfuckers who knew that I was into that type of thing that knew. So I would say my age group, my peers probably didn't even know that I was on that.
Yeah. When you went into your first one, do you remember it?
Yeah.
How did that go?
I mean, it was kind of like, I mean, you go into it, bro, and it's like, you nervous as hell. At least I was. You know, you nervous as hell because you don't know. You know what I mean? Because this shit can go bad.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been the kick door type of person.
Yeah.
Because I've always felt like, bro, when you breaking somebody's house, bro, like, it could go bad, bro. So I've never kicked in nobody's door, bro, ran into nobody's crib because it's like, nah. So I'm going into it with the mentality of, okay, he can't call the police. So as long as I do this shit right, I'm good. And, you know, it went how it was supposed to go. You know what I mean? He went confrontational, gave it, you know what I mean? My thing ain't gonna die over no weed. You know what I mean? Hey, man, here, take this little shit. Especially if you getting it how he was getting it. You ain't tripping, you know what I mean? But I will always say, to me, he was a soft drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of dudes in the streets who get money, but they ain't cut like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be taken advantage of. If they not surrounding themselves around the right people, and he was just, what we call it, he was a sweet lick. You know what I mean? It was what it was. You know what I mean? So going into it, yeah, I was nervous, but I was ready. You know what I mean? Because it was my chance to prove myself to me and my older homeboys.
Man, you said did you start, you didn't say this, did you start to become addicted to it though?
Yeah, absolutely. Man, absolutely. Because it was like, wasn't nothing like it, bro. Because it's like, you so young once again, so life is still kind of a game to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, dudes who are grown, 20, 21, doing shit, you kind of got a cognitive understanding.
Yeah.
13, you just moving and grooving. You just doing what you see everybody else doing. And it was my lane, you know what I mean? I wasn't stepping on nobody's toes where, okay, I was, but I wasn't stepping on your toes to where you was looking for me in a sense, because I will say I learned quickly. I'm gonna do the right. I'm gonna get the right people. You know what I mean? I ain't never work up to the point where I was getting the wrong people. You get what I'm saying? Like, I ain't go for the big fish, because now you find yourself in situations that you don't need to be in. Little small time motherfuckers here and there, you know what I mean, trying to get money, trying to, you know, do this, that, and third. I'm like, yeah, all right, bet that. But mind you, remember, I'm running with older dudes, so I'm not the mastermind at all. I'm just John, and they know I'm gonna go if they go. So
yeah,
that's how that was.
Did it ever? Was there ever a point where it's like, John?
No, hell no. No, hell no.
John, is that true?
Because remember, okay, and I'm glad you asked me that. Bro, I'm still coming up in a time, bro, where you trying to get away.
Uh-huh.
You're not trying to be known. You're not trying to get caught. You're not trying to let people know this what you do. Because once again, I come up under real OGs who did 20 years, 30 years, 15 years in prison. The object is to get away. So I never did things to be glorified for. You know, I never did nothing and told somebody, hey, man, look what I done did. You know what I mean? Because my uncle used to always say, hey, nephew, we solo thugging. You don't need nobody on your case with you because them niggas gonna tell.
Yeah.
So I didn't need nobody around to know what I was into. So I kept to myself in them type of regards. Like, on back to what I was saying, being a known jack boy. I wouldn't even say I was a known jack boy. Yeah. My partners knew how I got down. Yeah. And that was it. That's all I needed. I wanted to impress my big homies. That was it for me. Yeah. I ain't want to impress nobody else.
So you did care about that within it. Yeah.
And then another thing, bro, I come from a good household.
Yeah.
I didn't want my mom and daddy and them to know what I was doing.
They didn't know?
No. You know what I mean? Until later on down the line. Like, my mom and daddy and them knew that I was in the streets getting in trouble as far as fighting and shit. Mm. They don't know all the other shit I'm into because I'm keeping it from them. I always tell the young dudes this. I cared more about what my mama thought than what my big homies them thought. So I would do things, but I'm making sure mama don't find out because I don't want my mama to know this is what her baby into. Some dudes in the streets, they crash outs because they don't give a fuck what their mama think. You know what I mean? They give a fuck what their homeboys think. I care what my homeboys think, but not more than my mama. I want my mama to think that now she know I'm a fighter. She don't know I'm off. She don't know what I'm doing. When I get dropped off on the west side, she don't know what I'm over there doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? She ain't dumb, but my mama don't. I'm making sure they don't get back to my mama now. Case in point, why I didn't do stuff in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell your mama, that's Calvin's nephew. I'm finna go tell your uncle. I couldn't do shit around my way. So I had to leave my neighborhood to get in trouble, which that's what I did.
But you also did time too, didn't you?
Not in prison. I did. I went to juvie.
So mama had to find out.
Yeah, but my mama was like, I'm her baby, man. So, I got that mama where mama coming to get me. Mama making sure I'm getting out or paying what she got to pay. Like, those moments still haunt me a little bit. Yeah. Because it's like, man, I was embarrassing my mama at a young age, man. I'm not that dude, bro, who started getting in trouble at 18, 21, 22. I was 13 years old. I had been locked up twice before I even made it to high school. That's a fact. And my daddy sat me down and was like, hey, bro, what you finna do? I'm like, what you mean, Pop? He's like, man, my nigga, you been locked up twice and you ain't in high school yet. What you finna do? So we can go ahead and get prepared for how your life finna go. Yeah. Because you ain't finna have us putting money in shit and you getting in trouble. So, that was that.
How long was you in juvie?
Just quick stints. Mama came and got me, get me right out. Couple days, they heard, mama come get me right out. No long stints.
Yeah, but even like going in juvie and like, because I've never been to juvie. Mm-hmm. Like, so walking in those doors and stuff, what is that environment like?
But you want to know what's crazy, man? I was ready for it, man. Like, I'm like, because I felt like it was part of the journey. I'm going in there with kids who bad as hell. I'm a bad motherfucker too. What's happening? What y'all want to do? Like, I'm just a fighter, man. Like, I just got that in me, bro. Like, let me not, because I'm 30 now. I'm past all this, but at the time, man, violence never bothered me. I always like to say I was desensitized to it, bro. It never bothered me. Mm-hmm. So that's why to this day, I don't bother nobody, bro. I don't get in people's way. I don't try to come off like Billy Bad. And I don't even want this interview to come off like that. It's just, that was my lifestyle. Because that's what I was coming up in. That's all I knew.
Yeah. Looking back now, though, can you see a time where you just was like, I was a little too violent at that moment went somewhere it didn't have to go?
Yeah, man, a lot of times, bro, if I could be honest with you, bro, a lot of fights I got, because I want to say this, man, I didn't pick on weak kids. You know what I mean? The crayon story, that's true. I was a bully in that moment.
Yeah.
But I didn't pick on weak kids, bro. I picked on what Zach Randolph said. I pick on the bully.
The bullies.
I bully the bully. Like the dude who bandstanding with his chest out. Man, none of you know the dude who walk in the room. We all in here. Dude walk in here and say, ain't none of you niggas gonna say nothing to me. I'm the first one gonna say, nigga, who you talking to? Mm-hmm. I say something to you. And those are my situations we get into. But to answer your question, the last time I got locked up was for a fist fight. A real bad fist fight I got into. And I took it too far. You know what I mean? But looking back on it, I regret that one for sure.
What you mean? Like they on the ground and you keep going and it's a bloody mess.
Yeah, I took it too far.
You was ghost.
Because it wasn't, because I was shocked that I was getting arrested for a fist fight. I'm like, they like, son, do you see what you just did to that young man? I took it too far.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So anger. Mm-hmm. You have a real or had of real deep anger. It's still there.
Oh, what they say? God ain't through with me yet, Don, bro.
What's your relationship with anger?
Every day, bro, I gotta process what I'm giving my energy to, because I know what's inside of me. You know what I mean? Which is why I move so respectfully. Because, bro, I don't want you to disrespect me, bro. Like, I don't want you to, you know what I mean? And that's the thing, man. That's why I say. And I was watching, I watched the episodes, bro. On the episode, you was saying being an introvert.
Yeah.
I don't come off as an introvert, but I am.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
I do not like people for real, but I love people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds wild.
Not to me.
Bro, I love people, but I do not like people because, especially now in today's time, bro, disrespect is being championed. Mm-hmm. You could grow a platform by being disrespectful. Making reaction videos, talking negatively. I don't want no parts of that, bro. Because I know the type of person I am. You ain't getting that shit off with me. Like, so my relationship with anger now is every day going, hey, John, nah. And I'm talking about, I have real self-talks with myself in the car, road rage incidents, John, let it go, bro. Don't even get yourself, don't get that energy, bro, because especially as black men, bro, we find ourselves in too many situations where if we just sat and just talk with ourselves, you can at least talk yourself off the ledge. So my relationship is every day I'm trying to keep from being angry because a lot of things ain't worth it no way. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So you basically just scared of what you're going to do, not
Yeah.
scared of, not tripping on them. So that's why you come off so inviting and so like hype with everybody. You try to make sure everybody see where your energy is,
Because
even if you're not really feeling that on the inside.
Exactly, because bro, the moment you give me disrespect, I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
For instance, because saying excuse me as a man, bro, like what you can't say excuse me, bro. If I'm standing in my square and you enter my personal space as a man and you don't say excuse me, I'm gonna say something. Hey, bro, you can't say excuse me. Of course, that's the response is usually nigga, I ain't gotta say it. Okay, now it's on because all you gotta do is say excuse me, bro. And I gave you a way out just a second ago by saying, hey, bro, you can't say excuse me. Because if you would have said, oh, my bad, bro, I wasn't even paying attention, bro, head down, my fault. No problem, bro. Have a good one.
Yeah.
But, man, my nigga, you ain't finna, because you could have said excuse me. Ain't no watch out, ain't no, nah, nigga, say excuse me. Don't step on my shoe or not. Because I'm going to do it for you. I step on your shoe. I don't give a fuck. We in a club. I know I step on your shoe. I'm going to look up at you as a man and go, hey, bro, my fault. I ain't mean to step on your shoe, gang. Now, most real ones that respect that and be like, man, no problem, bro. Because, I mean, nigga, I ain't finna bend down and wipe your shoe off. No way. Nigga, we in the club. You should have wore them motherfucking nice ass kicks in there. We even spill liquor on the motherfuckers and everything.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
Have you tapped, like, really deep into yourself and realized, like, what the anger is? Like, where it really, really stems from?
Early on, like we was talking about earlier, it was the sensitivity part, you know, as a young man being sensitive because, and like I said, that stems from, once again, being a butt of everybody's jokes as a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, when I come outside, I ain't dealing with that. I truly don't know, bro. Like, and I be trying to figure out where this mean streak come from because that's why I love boxing. That's why I play football. Bro, football for me was like everything because, bro, I get to be as violent within the rules. I get to be as violent as I want to be for 45 minutes.
So you was on defense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I play offense too, but I like way. Let me tell you something. Like, it's violent, bro. Like this, hey man, everything I can do on the street, I could do on the football field within reason. You know what I mean? I can impose my will on another man and break him, bro. Like, break his will. And when you see another man quit on the football field, it do something to you, bro. It's like, oh, I done broke this man will. Man, get your punk ass up out of here. You know what I mean? Bring the next one. It's like, I don't know where that come from. My favorite movies are all violent movies. My favorite movie is Braveheart, by the way. I know that throw everybody off. That's my favorite movie all the time, Braveheart.
Have you ever found yourself being on the field but not being there?
Yes.
Like you snap back in after you didn't fuck somebody up like really bad because
it's not you, bro. Like I got shit I'm dealing with up here, bro. Like, so it's like you realize, man, but it's rewarded though. So the crowd is going crazy when you do what you do. But like that means, and I would say, matter of fact, now I want to answer your question this way. I think my mean streak and my anger comes from what I saw throughout my life. I lived in the hood my whole life. I never lived in the suburbs. So I always saw violence. So for at least for 18 years of my life, all I knew was violence. All I knew, this is how we gonna deal with it. And if you the most violent, you usually are the most championed. So it was like, I think that's where my mean streak came from. It's like, but it was early though. You know what I mean? I had it since I was a kid, bro. And I'm just starting to work on myself in that regard.
Do you feel like you're still trying to prove stuff to people or prove stuff to yourself?
Now it's me. You know what I mean? Because at first, even in my early 20s, I was still trying to be, that. You know what I mean? But I was still going to school to play football though. But that was the biggest identity crisis was college. Because I'm away from home now, but I hadn't been in the streets my whole life. But now I'm on the college campus trying to better myself.
Yeah.
But I'm still hustling. I'm still, getting in trouble. I'm still fist fighting with niggas. I'm still carrying pistols and shit like that. And I think a lot of young men in college go through that. Because you fresh from this environment, man. I can't just flip it like that and just change like that if you was really in it. You know what I mean? So now, but I ain't trying to prove nothing to nobody, which is why I stay away from everybody, dog. You know what I mean, bro? I don't go out with people, bro. I don't click up with niggas and go to the club. If you catch me in the club, I'm walking in by myself and I'm going to leave by myself.
Yeah. How easy is it for me to go from, for you to go from, you can't say excuse me, bro, to me like, well, I gotta say excuse me for it to you like own me.
You said how quick it's gonna be?
Yeah.
Immediately.
So you don't think you still proving stuff to somebody else?
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with this. Yes. Okay, so one thing, my partner, he was locked up. He was in prison at the time when he told me this. He was like, hey, bro, you ain't got to be the one to prove shit to everybody all the time. And I'm like, what you talking about, bro? He was like, you always be trying to check a motherfucker, let a motherfucker know he ain't really what he trying to portray himself to be.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to do that, bro. Just let it go. So for me, I definitely, that is a beautiful way to phrase that, bro. When a man is disrespectful to me, I like to show him, all right, motherfucker, because I want you to be respectful to the next person. This is where your disrespect got you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I am still trying to prove something to people.
Yeah. So as we get older, I do feel like there's your tolerance should be a little higher than.
Yes, for sure.
I just feel like jumping right to it is kind of still trying to prove something. Like you trying to show yourself that, hey, I'm changed, so I'm gonna be like, hey, you can't say excuse me, but as soon as you it kind of feel like you down there hoping niggas say,
hey, you right. But look, bro, you right. I'm not gonna say you're wrong because you're absolutely right, bro. But it's like, just say excuse me, dog. Like, why you just can't say it? So yeah, you right. I'm not. I just feel like I'm gonna treat you how I want to be treated. So if it's not reciprocated, or if you don't operate how I feel you should in that moment, I feel like it should be a consequence for you. But to your point, it shouldn't be me though. I can't be the one, chastising motherfuckers every time. And
you'll be doing that shit all day, all your life. Because one thing you got to understand is we're not raised the same. We didn't come up, you know what I'm saying? So certain things you probably should have did that you didn't do, I might look at it and be like, hey, nigga, what's happening?
Yeah.
But you don't take it as serious. Like, nigga, what you tripping off of?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he looking at, I'm not giving them no excuse. Yeah. This is more for you because it still seemed like you're trying to prove yourself to other people without knowing it.
To this moment, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, bro, for sure.
Proving it to yourself is more like, nigga, I know where I could go. So, all right, brother, you have a good day, man.
And see, bro, I envy, and I tell one of my homeboys and my big brother. My big brother, he's so, like, you can't move him. Mm-hmm. Like, trying my big brother is like, he'll just look at you like, dude, which mind you, my brother's 6'9", like 250. So, bro, just be like, my nigga, if you don't get in your car, bro, I ain't got that. I was always his little pit bull, bro. Like, when bro tried to defuse the shit, no, watch out, bro. Let me get him. Like, fuck all that. So, I envy individuals like yourself, the men of the world who can. Well, let me ask you this. Let me flip it on to you. Could you be disrespected and let it go? Or what level of disrespect could you let go?
I can let things go because I'm not talking to you like I'm perfect.
Okay,
I'm talking to you from an angle of just sitting there. Like, but no, I do believe I'm beyond the level that you on right now. Like, but in my head, I want to react because I suffer from embarrassment issues myself. But I've learned just recently I'm past that.
Yeah.
Because I told somebody was screaming at me at work. Mm-hmm. And I don't like loudness, like you getting loud with me or whatever. But I was patient enough to understand he wasn't yelling at me. Mm-hmm. He was yelling at his situation. He was mad at his situation going on. So we easily got past right there. But it made me proud of myself. I proved to myself, nigga, you ain't got to snap every time because you feel there's. I don't like when people are loud and it's other people can see it because it looks like you punking me. I don't like all of this and all of this. And like people are seeing it from, because it looks like you punk. Because how I talk, it's kind of like this. So from a distance, it looked like, this nigga getting bitch.
You see what I mean?
Nigga, you know what I mean?
No, that's real.
But at the same time, maybe I'm thinking about that a little harder than what other people are doing. Maybe they standing back and looking like, that's tough.
Yeah.
He was able to sit there and take that and like really show, or he was able to walk away from that. Because you find out like people will be watching you and you don't know they watching, they walk up to you later and be like, hey, bro, I love the way you handled that. Mm-hmm. And instead of worried about checking this person, you didn't told somebody else how to deal with a situation.
Yeah.
Because you are influenced. You, especially now, you are influencer. You just had a moment when people came up to
wonderful you. Moment.
Yeah. So I would challenge you to like try to be. It ain't easy.
It ain't easy.
It ain't easy. Try to be more patient. A little higher level of like, you know what, nigga. All right.
And I'm telling you, Brandon, I can't wait till I get to that point in life because it's gonna be beautiful for me. And I will say this: there are days though where I do congratulate myself, where I don't react.
Yeah.
It's definitely days where I could have and I don't.
That's important too. Like patting yourself on the back.
For sure.
Cause I'm not there to pat you on the back like, way to go, John, you did that shit.
Yeah.
You gotta sit there with yourself and be like, nigga, I'm proud of you.
I swear, it's times I've done that, man, where I'm just like, you know what, the old you would have slapped shit out of Buddy. Okay, go ahead, John. I see you trying to grow. So, you know, I'm working, baby. I'm working.
And even that, like I had to tell my boy at work, he does this a lot. Like he'll get into a situation with somebody and he's not so happy that they got away with it. But when he's talking to me, he's like, the old me would have did this, old me. And I'm like, you still trying to prove something. Because why do you have to say the old you? It's really going to keep reminding you that you could go there and make you go there the next time.
Yeah.
You know, I had to realize that with myself. Like, but I do it like D. Moore was saying, I sit with myself a lot.
Me too.
And I'm like, why do you keep saying that? That's just making you want to react like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to prove myself to other people. I really don't want to move like that.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm aware of myself, which is why I don't really be around people like that. You know what I mean? I be to myself. You know what I mean? And that's real. Like, you catch me outside, man, all I do is work and do my podcast, bro. I don't really go to the club no more. Like, and I'm not saying I don't or I'm done, but it's like, I know how I move. So I try to stay away from people as much as possible because of me getting older. Man, I don't want to go to jail for, you know, harming somebody that wasn't even worth it. You know what I mean? So, you know.
When you was playing football, did you get better on field or off field? In the action or?
What you mean?
So in practice, were you getting better in practice? Or were you getting better playing catch with your pops or whatever? Or were you getting better on during actual game day or in practice and stuff like that?
I would say practice, but I got but I couldn't stand practice, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like I got better in practice, bro, but I showed my ass during the games. Because it was like, we here now, you know what I mean? I get to be the tough guy. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, no different than how Ray Lewis is. Or was, excuse me. Like, just that force, bro. Like, and by no means was I on Ray Lewis level, but the point I'm trying to make is you get to be the tough guy in a different setting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the games was my playground. That's when
But you had to practice to be there.
Yeah. But most of my skills, bro, came before I started playing organized sports. So it was just in the streets, just we playing in between the cars and in the dirt field and all of that. So, you know, by the time I started playing organized football in middle school, I was already on at that point.
Yeah, but did you still, when you get in that game, there's certain rules and regulations because it's regulated.
True.
There's regulations and stuff you have to abide by within those things. You have to actually be in the game to know that. Because at first you're kind of like, man, what the fuck? What's that called or whatever? You know what I'm saying? But you said practice. You didn't really like practice.
No.
Like, it's uncomfortable. That's the same thing in life.
Yeah.
You said you don't like being around people, but you can't. You don't know how good you're becoming if you don't get in the game and actually be around people.
True.
You're uncomfortable in those situations because you haven't learned to get comfortable in those situations. It's challenging.
For sure.
But anything dope is challenging. Growth is challenging. You're not going to grow just sitting off in you. Because I'm like you. I would rather just be sitting off in my room and not dealing with, I like people, but I don't like decisions people make. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say I dislike people.
Yeah.
I like people, but I like my time to myself. But that's easy for me.
Yeah.
That's easy for me to be to myself. Right. This shit right here wouldn't be happening if I stayed to myself like I want to stay to myself.
Yeah, that's right.
But I've done this so much that I actually embrace doing it now. You got to get to a point where you start to, I feel like this. I can't tell you what to do with your life.
Yeah.
Practicing in front of people, practicing with the people. You know what I'm saying? You
said,
I cut up. You only going to get that experience and that growth is if you actually do it in the game.
Yeah.
You cannot be away from the game because I don't know if you believe in God or not.
Of course.
So yeah, he's a God of togetherness and all that shit. So you're not he wants you to be out there with it. Jesus was out there with them.
Yeah.
The bad men.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The people who challenge his anger the most. You know? So he only flipped the tables one time.
See, that's what I say. And I look, applaud to him because I flipped that motherfucker about 15, 20 times.
Yeah. So get out there and practice with people at your time.
See, now look, speed. And I do, but that's what I'm saying. Now, that practice, man, you're right, man. I want to tell you that you're right. I need to get to a better space before because I can't, I'm still stuck in that mentality of if a man disrespects me, I can't walk away.
Yeah.
I don't have it in me. Like, I've never been able to walk away in certain situations I should have walked away from. And I don't have it in me. It's situations where guns have been pulled out. And my homeboys will tell you, that motherfucker John ain't run. Everybody else might have ran and him and another homeboy stayed, but I don't have that walk away in me to where I could just be like, all right, brother, you got it, and walk off. You know what I mean? But, I need to because, I think the power comes in being able to not allow people to be able to push your buttons in that regard. Because it was an older dude in the hood, he told me one time, he said, "Little bro, don't be a part of nobody's suicide mission." And I'm like, "What you talking about?" He was like, "It's individuals in this world who want to die and they ain't got nothing going for themselves. They'll trigger you into some shit to where you lose your shit and now you didn't, harm them or did something to them. And that was all they wanted anyway. But now your life has been altered tremendously. So, I'm gonna get there, Dominic, bro. I promise you, bro.
Because it's disrespect. It's not taking disrespect from them, and like we all got our levels.
Yeah.
Worth disrespecting yourself.
Sometimes, bro, it is, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
And then you sitting in that cell like, why the fuck did I do it? So is it really worth that?
I'll put it to this way. This may sound stupid, especially coming from a man who's 30. But for me, man, the thought in my head of you sitting there with your shit closed, eye swole to your eyebrow.
Yeah.
I could kick back for a little minute and be like, all right. Now, I know that's childish with me, but that's just how my mind works. My respect is everything, man. So it's like, I go sit down and do some time behind that, bro. Like, because it's like, it's not warranted with me. I don't bother nobody, bro. I don't get in people's way. And I know I said this a million times. I just don't bother people.
Yeah.
So when people bother me, my reaction is always, me? Like, not that you know me or nothing, but why me? Like, I probably held the door for you when you walked up in it. Like, I'm in Quick Trip and I hold the door. You just walk right in the motherfucker. Damn, bro, you ain't gonna say thank you.
Get it all the time, bro.
It's like, God damn, bro. Like, where are we as men, as a society, where somebody held the door? You just gonna walk in the door. You ain't gonna say nothing. And I'm talking about just men, women, children, elderly people, whatever. Us as men. You ain't even gonna say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But like, to your point, a lot of us didn't come up the same way. And unfortunately and fortunately for me, the men who raised me have all been to prison. So my level of respect is penitentiary rules respect.
Yeah.
So it's a little extreme for sure. You know what I mean? It's certain things in there you can't do that you could do in the outside world. So a lot of the men who taught me what respect was, that's what they learned respect was in prison.
Man.
I have a question for you.
Come on, man.
All right. I'm not gonna do a what's that going. I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
Or we'll just take this part out if you need to. But what space are you in to the point to where you have to react in that direction? Because you say you're in this space. What space is that?
Great question, bro. Honestly, the space I'm in now is I'm trying to find who I am. You know what I mean? Because I think for the first time in my life, I'm free to where I'm like, okay, I'm going to discover who I am through self-evaluation and things like that. So I'm in a very vulnerable space where I know what I need to do to not behave how I used to behave. But it is tough to shed all those habits and all those things when that's all you've known your whole life. So the space I'm in a very gray area space because all these blessings are coming my way. And I'm trying to shed off the things that I once did that didn't amount to nothing at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That shit don't mean nothing no more. Like being young, wild motherfucker, taking people product and shit like that. That shit didn't amount to nothing no way. You know what I mean? And it ain't like I made $1 million off the shit no way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, that's the space I'm in is I'm trying to figure out who I truly am while trying to kick old habits.
Gotcha. So on this road of self-discovery, is it a vulnerable place or is it a fearful place?
Both.
What are you afraid of?
Boy, y'all asked some good ass. Boy, that's why y'all all who y'all are. Boy, boy, these questions I ain't never been asked before, so I appreciate that, bro. Like, the fear in me is, because it's not about people no more. The fear for me is change. It's like, John, no, you truly are powerful, bro. You're not this young street nigga from St. Louis, bro. Like, you can make the world spin if you want to, bro. So, what he's saying, Coach Carter, our deepest fear is that we are inadequate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Our fear is that we are powerful beyond belief. And that's true for me. I can't speak for other people. That's a powerful thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Is knowing, bro, I could move a mountain if I wanted to. Just shake that bullshit, bro, and you'll be right where you need to be. So it's me getting out my own way.
Gotcha.
In my opinion.
So when that sense of power, aren't you afraid of that?
No, because I would like to think that I'm going to do something magnificent with it.
See, that's the thing. Think.
But you know, like, I don't, when people talk about riches and fame, it's never been about, for me, buying the biggest Lamborghini. Bro, I truly just want to go to the hood, bro, and have a hood day.
Yeah.
I can go to the hood, I pay everybody bills. I sell out the park. I got balloons and shit for the kids. I really, being a philanthropist is what I really truly want to do. It's not about the money for me, you know. And I thank God I didn't get rich when I was a young man, because for me the power comes with what I could do with it. Because I'm not an evil person, you know what I mean. I don't have an evil bone in my body, bro. Like I wish the best for everybody. I love seeing people do well. Motivates me. We all in the same space. I love seeing what y'all do. It motivates me to get my shit together. Like, okay, I need to start doing this. Okay, I ain't got a mean spirit, so I know the day I get some money, some power, I'm gonna do right, man. I'm gonna be like Bumpy Johnson in that motherfucker once I get money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So can you think of that time, that very first time where you felt that anger resided in you? Like the very first instance when you're like, damn, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, just as a young man, like when I got to be like 4 or 5, just being, I don't know if you was outside, but I was talking about just the embarrassment issues that I dealt with as a child. When my family and everybody on the porch would make fun of me and shit, when I would go cry to myself in the room, I would just become so enraged, bro. I'm like, looking back on it now, like, how was I getting that upset that young? Like, I'm that kid, I want to break some shit. I want to tear some shit up. So those were the first times I can say, the first time the family embarrassed me and sent me to my room was the first time I felt that anger. But like I said before, I knew once I went outside that I was going to impose that on somebody. I didn't know when, but I knew somebody was going to have to deal with that.
That was my next question, was when did it go from an inside thought to now an outside action?
Immediately, right away, because just growing up in the ghetto, you know, my mama made us fight. Meaning, my mama didn't let you, like, if I came back around the corner, like, man, them dudes just jumped on me, my mama was going to take you back over there and fight. So it's just all I knew, you know what I mean? So where I come from and in environments like where I come from, violence is rewarded. Like, they want to see you get out there. Like, they want to see you handle your business. You know what I mean? So it was almost immediate. Like, the first opportunity I got to impose my will on somebody outside, that's what I did.
So with all the information that you just given me, are you afraid of yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you afraid of within yourself?
One, wasted talent. That's probably the main thing for me. And by the grace of God, you know, a lot of my friends, that's the reason why I didn't move back home to St. Louis after I dropped out of school, because a lot of my friends was dying and going to jail. So yeah, I'm afraid of myself. I'm afraid of wasting all these good gifts. Hearing individuals like y'all who've been in this space, who do this at a high level, give me praise and say, hey, bro, you different. You can record a podcast by yourself with no guests.
That's true.
Those are the things where it's like, bro, and I can't waste that, bro. Like, I can't waste that, like, because I got something. And it's, you know, it's purpose. Like, I didn't try to find this podcast. Like, it found me. So I'm afraid of, which I'm not going to do, but the fear I have for myself is I'm afraid I'm going to waste all these talents that God has bestowed upon me. And I don't want to, you know what I mean? We talking about stand-up comedy. I'm just afraid to do it. I'm funny as hell. I'm just afraid to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because what if somebody in the crowd get disrespectful? Get your weak ass off the stage. Nigga, hold on. Nigga, cut this mic off. You know what I mean?
But see, that's the beauty of that industry is right. Like when somebody does do that, you have full range to fire back. It's a stress reliever.
True.
So if they, hey man, you suck. Like, hey, that's what your mama did last night. You know what I'm saying? Like, you
What
can
if
use
them on stage, man?
They won't do that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because now they're in front of people.
Them hands.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
And therefore
all reason.
justified.
Yeah, it's all reason. I ask you that mainly because when it comes down to it, I think that a lot of people, even myself, I come through an idea that I am fearful of myself, that I am what I think I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a very cool, calm individual. You can disrespect me and I'll let you walk away. But mentally, what's going through my mind, what I want to play out, I'm a fucking serial killer.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sr.
And I know that the moment I act upon it, I am going to be that,
yes, sir.
You know, exactly what I don't want to be.
Ooh, that's some cold shit, right? Yeah. And that wrap up everything, basically what I've been saying this whole time. And, you know, in a better way than I could have put it. Like, in my mind, bro, I'm being respectful because I know what I'm going to do, bro, if you don't reciprocate the respect that I'm giving. So I'm glad you put it that way. That was smooth right there, for sure.
That's what I wanted to get to. All right, there you go. We like to tag team around here sometimes.
Yeah. You like pigs?
What you mean, like, do I eat pork?
That's a good question. Not just a pig, period. Or do you eat pork?
I mean, I love me some bacon from Waffle House.
Okay.
Right, but I stay away from most pork because I told you all the men who raised me been in prison. You know, them niggas come home, the pig is a filthy beast. You know how they do that shit. So, yeah, I mean, a pig is a pig to me. You know, I'm a city boy. I ain't grow up around pigs and all that type of shit.
So you never really seen one and how it moves?
Yeah. Because I grew up with school white kids. Yeah. So they come from farms and got land and got cattle and pigs. So I was around them growing up.
How'd you see them?
Pigs?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be something simple as me spending the weekend at one of my, you know, suburban friends' house. And, we're going to my uncle's house. Uncle got some land. We out on the farm. We got horses, pigs, in the, you know, pig pen and all of that. So.
But you seen them in the pig pen.
Yeah.
What the pig pen look like?
It was a minute ago, too. I mean, it's just like his uncle just had a big-ass wooden structure with like a shed attached to the wooden fence. And, I mean, they would come in and out of that structure into the little area. But it was confined in just that pig pen. And, I mean, you know, they had their food. They were just walking around. The motherfuckers eat anything, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? His uncle was just throwing anything in there, and the motherfuckers eat anything. So that's how I saw him.
Was it dirt in there?
Yeah.
Muddy?
Muddy.
Would you jump in there with him?
With a pig, no.
Why not?
Because I didn't. One, them motherfuckers is aggressive, first of all. Like, I mean, I don't know if people who been like, them motherfuckers is aggressive. They'll chase you. I don't like being chased, bro. I'll jump in a fucking pit with some dogs if I jump around with a pig, bro. Yeah. Which is weird to think about because I love dogs and I love aggressive big dogs, but I don't like pigs. No, fuck that.
And I would imagine you look like you stay fly. You don't like getting muddy.
No, man, let me tell you something, bro. All this shit is all part of my new, you know, trying to be somebody new, bro. Like, growing up, man, I wasn't the fashion dude, like, at all. To this day, I'm not. You know what I mean? I ain't really into all that type of shit.
But you still look clean.
Appreciate it. I mean, I like the ladies, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So my whole point is pigs are dirty. Pigs play in the mud. Demons and stuff chase you and all that. It'll chase you all your life as long as you allow it to. Yeah. You don't like pigs, you don't want to jump in the pig pen. So keep your mind away from the pig pen mentality.
Hey, I don't know how you do that, bro. You always do that, bro. You are amazing at that, bro. Like, you always make it come full circle, bro. Yeah. My bad, I'm sorry to cut your wisdom. Go ahead.
No, it's cool. That's just one of the things I keep with me. I don't wrestle with pigs, so I don't like to get muddy.
That's real.
It makes me look crazy. Yeah. I don't like to look dirty. Like you come when you step into places, like you said, for the women, you like to look clean. But when people see that part of you, they forget that clean part of you a lot of the time. They forget the clean, and it's hard to get that back. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like we react like we react for a reason, but you don't always have to react like that.
Yeah, man.
You don't always like I'm sitting on the sideline hearing you talk about, like, I'm not a bad person. I don't like, so there's nothing that you can tell me to make me believe that you can punch somebody and lump them up looking real crazy and sit there for hours and just look at them and be happy. I'm glad. Look at my work. For hours and days and not look back and be like, why the fuck I do that, bro?
Like, okay, so like, yeah, okay, you right. Okay.
I get what you're saying, though.
It depends on the level of it. If it was something simple as an excuse me, I definitely would be like, man, okay, I probably ain't have to punch on buddy. But if it was like super disrespectful, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, take that. Yeah, fuck wrong with you.
And there's a difference. Like running up on the stage while I'm doing comedy.
Yeah.
That's not me jumping in the pig pen.
Okay,
That's me defending myself. You know what I'm saying? But nigga, I can't force you to abide by the rules or whatever I did when I was growing up. Hey, bro, you can't say excuse me. I can't force that on you. Mm-hmm. I can only hope that the way I acted in this situation affects you. You know what I'm saying? Because me punching on you ain't gonna make you no better. It'll probably make you say, excuse me when you go past me, but that shit don't mean nothing. Yeah. What are you gonna say? Somebody punched on me because so I said, no, I'd rather somebody say, man, the way that man moved around me made me change my ways. I heard that. Because, like, again, when people move in certain ways because you inflicted harm on them, it's because it's fear. Yeah. You're not acting like that because you want to act like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I want you to want to be a good person, not be a good person because you don't want to get your ass beat. Okay. Want to be a good person because you don't want God to beat your ass. Yeah. Don't worry about me, though. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we should be in the fear of how God may. I feel like that. Yeah. We should be a fear of how God may look at us, not how. I ain't changed because this nigga beat my ass. Nigga.
That's real. And I mean, that's stupid of me and that's why I was just giving my.
That's stupid, bro.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because for me, it's like, because you're right, man. Like, that you more so gonna make that motherfucker go back and get a pistol anyway. You ain't teaching them nothing from that. You know what I mean? So, no, you're right.
He might got embarrassment issues too.
Yeah, like, for sure.
His girl might be in that car right there looking at him get his ass. Don't say shit else to me. You let not John, let that nigga beat your ass.
That's a good point.
How much time we got left? 5 minutes. Real quick. I want to know how that, because I heard you talk about being in relationship to stuff like that. But how does all of this translate in relationship?
Well, I mean, we can take it to the fear part. With me being as a man, I could say I love hard, right? So I live in fear of me loving a woman how I love, and it not being reciprocated, which is tough for me because I'm trying to operate in a space where love don't really exist like it used to. So it seems, right? I grew up in a household with my mother and father. I mean, they've been together 35 plus years. I know what successful marriage and love look like. Yeah. I don't want, this all comes full circle because I'm afraid to step out into the world and give myself into, in a real way to find a woman. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's tough, bro, because I love hard and my shit unconditional. It ain't transactional, but that's naive thinking in my opinion. You know what I mean? You got to be able to do for a motherfucker. So it all translates into that with me. It's just with fear, but it go back to your point though. Not trying to be in the pig pen. You know what I mean? The women I'm looking for ain't in the clubs and they ain't on IG and shit like that. I got to be where they at. I mean, I visit my coffee shops and shit now, so I'm getting older, you know what I'm
saying? You could find somebody good at the club. Like, shit, if you consider yourself good, you was at the club, nigga, and somebody might find you there. So I don't like to say, like, it's bad people in churches, bad people in the club. It's good people in church, good people in the club. I just feel like it'll come to you when it come to you type of thing.
And I will say this just because I know we're short on time and I want to continue to answer your question in regards to a relationship. Where I'm at, as far as with podcasts and shit, a part of me really don't want a woman right now. Yeah. Because I'm in that mode where I'm like, I got to go and I don't know what's coming, but it's all rolling fast and I don't really need nothing in my way. And it's a catch for me too, because I can have me a rider who elevates me. So it's all, it's all I hope, you know what I mean, somebody coming to my life to where they elevate what I got going on. But for right now, I'm just being selfish, bro. I'm focused on me and my pocket because this shit makes me happy, bro. Yeah. And that's real. I enjoy doing this, sitting down with y'all, having guests. This type of shit make me happy.
I understand that. Yeah. Just a little advice for when you do get in a relationship, and I hope it's received well. Don't be afraid to get hurt. Because if you're afraid to get hurt, it's going to be hard for you to be open in that relationship. Because when you go in the boxing ring, you're going to get punched, bro. Some of the toughest people mess with even me. Mess with my mind with that when they be like, man, I just don't want to be hurt. But y'all do some of the toughest shit ever and get hurt. Y'all done been through some of the toughest wars and you done been shot 17 times, man. And then it come to a relationship. I just don't want to be hurt. I done been hurt so much. Bro, you gonna get hurt no matter what you do. How do you get over this hurt? And don't be a runner all the time.
Yeah.
Some hurt is worth the pain. Like when that tattoo come out just right, it was kind of worth the pain, nigga. That
shit look good.
So in relationships, it's the same way. Just like exercising. It's worth the pain sometimes because you look back and be like, I ain't got where I wanted to, but it came through that pain. So it's picking and choosing what pain you take. But I just don't, I hate for people to get in the practice of running away from relationships because your mama didn't hurt you before, your friends didn't hurt you before, and some of them are you still real close to probably. You hold your mom in the highest regards probably. You know, and she hurt.
60 seconds.
6 seconds.
60.
60. Can you? So I ask people to leave us marked out, and that's just words for the minds and the hearts. Can you leave us marked out?
So for me, I'll say this, you know, and I know I got 6 seconds, so let me say it this way. First, okay, yeah, I would like to say, man, I appreciate y'all, bro, because you know what y'all doing in this space, bro, is phenomenal. Because the questions y'all asked me today, I've never been asked before, but deep down, I've always wanted to answer these questions. Both of you gentlemen left me with questions that I'm gonna ride home, smoke and be thinking about, like, man, them motherfuckers, what them niggas cold, like,
appreciate you,
bro. And every episode I watch, bro, y'all handle every guest the same. So I wanted to give y'all flowers before I left. But for me, the words that I would leave with people is, you know, find who you truly are. I spent a lot of my years, y'all, not knowing who I was, and I always feel like I wasted a lot of time because I didn't know who I was because I was trying to fit in. I was trying to prove to other people, and never wanting to prove to myself. I just started caring about me. So I would say to individuals of the world, make sure you care about yourself, because when you care about yourself, you could pour into other people. And I'm just now learning that, bro. I spent all my life trying to ride for everybody harder than I rode for myself. Trying to be that friend that'll always, you know, jump in the car if something needed to get handled. I didn't do that for myself. You know, eating right and, you know, mentally read and like just bettering me. I wasn't doing none of that up until now. So I would say, find who you are, and every day better yourself in some capacity, because that's what I do. I don't give a damn if it's reading a book, saying a prayer, do something to better yourself. And that's just how I've been moving as of late. And God has been blessing me, y'all. Like, for the first time in my life, somebody walked up to me and asked me for my picture. Hey. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's just God working, man. And it's like, I'm going to keep on keeping on. So, you know, that's what I would say. Find who you are and find some self-love.
Yeah. You said reading books and the prayer. You mind praying us out?
Man, I ain't did that since church, but let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, we want to come to you today and thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the day, because it's not promised. Thank you for the breath in our bodies and allowing us to come sit down together as men and as your children to converse and talk about things to better ourselves and potentially better the nation. So we just want to thank you, and, you know, I want to send, you know, prayers and blessings to anybody who's going through hard times. You know, put your healing hand on their hearts and let them know that through you, anything is possible. So in your name we pray, amen.
Amen. Kansas City, St. Louis, all around the world. The goal is to leave a lasting imprint on their minds and their hearts. We pray you've been indelibly marked.
And to answer your question, bro, about we
let me get my hand shaking.
Oh, let me sweat it. So we get one of those.
Now what you saying?